again to my workshop. Today we are going to turn $50.20 into $150. How we're going to do that is we're going to make an art decor lamp. Basically this video is all a turn-in video, lathe wood turn-in video. So we're going to turn this 20-cent log of a hardwood variety. This particular log is a gum tree, Australian gum tree, and it's very heavy. It's very similar to oak. You can see that the grain there is very tightly packed together. It's very heavy, very heavy. So what I've done, my wife has actually gone out and bought this lantern. This was $30. This essentially is to really put a candle in, large candle. So we'll dispense with that. So what we're going to do is turn this log down to a nice shape. We're going to fit this in on top that way. We're going to put one of these very large globes inside it, which I think will have a very nice effect. I don't really want it for light as much as just a piece of art decoration. Normal standard light fitting, and if you're going to do something like this, just go and get yourself a cheap extension cord. This is a 5-meter extension cord. And it saves you actually putting a plug on the end of a length of lead. You just cut this plug off and wire it into this. This is $5. So it actually works out cheaper to buy this than what it is to buy a length of cord and a plug. So you can save yourself some money. Turn this into $150 in about 3 hours. Okay, so we start with mounting the faceplate onto our piece of wood. I personally pack it to be level on the one end of the piece of wood, and I prefer to use a faceplate rather than put it between centers, because this weighs about probably about 15 kilos, and it's not true. So it's going to shake around a bit. I just don't like it between centers that much. So what I do, and what I suggest anybody does really, do not use wood screws as such, but I use wood bolts. They hang on a lot better, and I find them very successful. Okay, so what I do is drill a pilot hole first, like so, because these are quite fat and they might split the wood. Live center, it's got a bear in there, it's got a spike. Now what I do is although I don't put it between centers, I use this end of the center, the tailstock end, to support this end. I've had a lot of people inquire about lathes, what type of lathes to buy. This one isn't a bad lathe, it just has one annoying problem, that the motor is, and the back end of the motor is very close to the chuck area here, and I'm limited to how much diameter that I can get. It's okay, but it does limit you a bit. Just to let you know, I do now manufacture lathes. We do 2 different sizes, a small one, a benchtop lathe, and one that's this size, and it's electronically speed controlled, both of them. So if you want to drop me an email, I'll send you some details through about them. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is strip off the back, and we're going to use a roughing gouge. Right, so what first thing we've got to do is find out the highest position of the log, which is there. And we're about half an inch away from the log. And we tighten it up there. It's necessary to get in quite close because you want to have just a small amount of overhang, because if the tool catches, and it probably will on here, you can hang on to it. The tool isn't going to fly out your hand, or it's not going to come and hit you up under the chin. So that's the idea of having a very short distance here. So what we're going to do, we're going to start high like this, if you understand what I mean. So this is rubbing on the wood and not the cutting area. We're going to bring it down slowly like this, then roll it over anti-clockwise and come up, then roll it over clockwise and come back down, and keep doing that until we've got rid of all the back. Most of the back off now, and we're going to change tools to it's a really nice tool. So this tool will really rip into this material and get it down to an appropriate size really quick. So that's what we're going to do right now. That was real time, and it's pretty well nearly round. There's a bit of bark left there, look, so I'm just going to go a little bit deeper, but this tool will really rip into it and make short order of it. To see if it fits. That is perfect. Right, what I've done now is I've done a bit of preliminary sanding, and I'm going to put some very fine beads or accents in these high areas here, just to make them stand out a bit. So what we're going to do now, we're going to drill a hole in through from the side here, all the way through to the middle, because this is where the cable is going to come out. But I'm going to pat the material off at part of the tail end of the circumference of the circle. It's easier to do it in the lathe here now than what it is out of the lathe, because it's firmly attached. So here we go roughly to the middle. Then I've got to be sure that I'm away from the bolts here. Drill a little bit further up, which gives me a little bit more room. So we'll part it off. Well, machine some of the material out of here, then I'll at the very end I'll you need to bore a hole straight down through the middle. So a good idea is to get one of these extended spade bits and just drill a hole all the way through. The trick is, I suppose, is keeping it completely upright and trying to aim through to the middle. Well, try anyway. There we have the finished item. So that's turning $50.20 into $150. Let's see what it looks like. An art decor lamp. So I hope you've liked watching the making of this. Basically it was a wood turning job. What I was trying to show you is one of the things you can, or one of the objects you can make with a lathe. So if you've enjoyed this, please press my subscribe button, press like, little red box down in the right hand side of the picture. Press on that, that will take you to my YouTube channel, where there's now 170 You'll find in my channel a lot of videos now on wood turning, shop projects, making a bit of furniture, CNC routers, the programs that run CNC routers, 3D printers. So I think there's a cross section there for everyone. So until next time, it's bye for now.